Hopefully, the audio is in a good spot. Shout out to y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give me a little milk in. Trying to make some stuff transpire, y'all. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Appreciate everybody tapping in here with your boy. If you are new to my live and you don't know who I am, look, I go by Zabo103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms, and I just try to really just provoke some thought. I believe if you think, if you research, and you take some action, you can win. And being that I believe that, I think that a lot of the things that we have to start doing is taking action. Over these last few days, I've been going live and I've been sharing information with folks, and I started taking people down a path. So I don't want to get too far ahead of the group, but I do need to go back to finish off one of the lives I was going to do yesterday afternoon in regards to using your money for public use and private use, and breaking the cycle of you using money for personal use. So if this is your first time on my live and you don't know what's going on, put a 1 in the chat. If you've been on my live more than once, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to see what we have so we can kind of catch people up to speed, number one. And then number two, continue the journey that we're going on, because I think I want to kind of get through this. We got a lot of people that's been here. Shout out to people over there on TikTok. Shout out to people on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform you're on. Just shout out to y'all for tapping in. So first, again, I today been a fun-filled day. If you been able to pop on the lives on the TikTok platform, I went and put the 41.5 acres of land back in conservation today. So that means I just signed another 10-year contract of the land being in conservation, the 41.5 acres of land. I also went out to the 41.5 acres of land today and kind of showed people what it looks like, because it's different when people are talking about these things, but they're not really showing you nothing. So I get in the habit of like to play show and tell, because it just is what it is. I also went out to, it wasn't 11.8 acres, it was actually 10.8 acres of land that they had out there that my broker sent me earlier today. And when I got out there, it wasn't nothing really to show y'all. So I went live for literally 30 seconds. The land itself looks like it's in some form of a landlock. I'm not sure why my broker sent me that. So I got to have another conversation with her in regards to what's the play on that property, because it might be something to where the people that is in the landlock with, maybe they got something to where they want to get rid of their property too. I don't freaking know. But nevertheless, I digress. I do need to take off these snake bite boots though. Y'all got to forgive me for a second while we get people up in here. So those are some of the things that we did today. I still got on my snake bite boots if y'all ain't figured it out yet. And because I was walking through a lot of land today, y'all. A lot of woods, a lot of crazy stuff out there. I ain't want no smoke with no reptiles. So that's what we get for today. Some of the things that we've talked about, so far, we've talked about how when you use money personally, you kind of set yourself up. You're only supposed to be using money technically for public use and private use. Nothing other than that. And that's just what it is. So we walk down the journey of looking at your money, and your money will tell you, just to catch people up to speed. If you look on the front of any cash that you have, American cash that you have, this place that we call a country that's really a business, it tells you on the front of your money that this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. It don't say nothing about personal. That was the fast version of that, y'all. Just so y'all can kind of get an idea and you'll catch up with the rest of the stuff. We also talked about how you using money publicly and privately and not personally. Like with food, your employer buy you food when you at work. If your employer buy you food at work, it became public because they expense it. If it's public, it goes into business. If it's private, it goes into trust. All right. Your vehicle, you're driving on a public road, boys and girls. You're not driving on a personal road. If you have a business, your business is incentivized by the IRS to get a business vehicle. Think about what I'm saying. What's up, family? It's changed. You got to change the way you think. If your vehicle weighs over 6,000 pounds and used 100% for business, depending on what the IRS decide to give you for that fiscal year up on the tax code 179, they'll allow you to write the whole thing off that you paid for in that fiscal year. I'm trying to get you to change your way of thinking. The roof over your head is private, so it goes into trust. The roof over somebody else's head that you control is public, so it goes into business. What's the difference in between the two? If the public has access to it, meaning that the public can attack it, you don't want it attacking your trust. You want it to attack your business because your business ain't never got no money. Your business is always going broke, making more money. Because that's the only purpose of money, people. Hopefully, some of these things for my new people are starting to resonate, and some of the people that's been on my live more than once, you're starting to connect the dots with this kind of fast forward. The next thing that we were getting to that I was going to share yesterday night, but I didn't get a chance to go back live because I had to take care of some other stuff. A lot of times when I'm on these live platforms, people hear all of these things and it sounds amazing. I'm looking at it as if I wasn't doing what I was doing, it would sound beautiful for me. I was like, man, this sounds wonderful. All this great stuff you saying, but I would have one question for me if I was on the other side of this, listening to me. The question that I would have is, how am I supposed to do this and I got a job? I ain't got no money saved. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. I don't have no mentors that can help me out. I don't know where to turn to even get the information that you're talking about. The stuff you saying, there are people out there that they look like they got money. It looks like they got wealth and they not talking like this. So why are you saying this stuff? Like this stuff can't be real. Tell me how to do this from my job, man. That's what I would ask myself. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. These are questions that I would ask because I'm an ignorant dude. I'm not college educated. I barely got a high school diploma. I know I'm not the sharpest marble in the bag. So I'm going to ask a lot of common sense questions. So that's the path where we're going today. So watch this. Every single year, and every time I pop on a live, people ask me the same thing. If you had to start all over, what would you do? Explain to me what steps you would take. You don't have to give me all the fine detail because there ain't enough time in the world to give me the fine details. But if you could give me an overview of what you would do if you were starting from scratch, what would you do? And I say the same thing laughing every single time. I start from scratch every single year. I do what's called a cash dump. That's what wealthy people do. The people that got super wealth, they do a cash dump every quarter. I have to do it by December 31st because I'm not super wealthy. The people that's amazingly wealthy, the top of the top, they do a cash dump every day. Because they understand, just like I understand now, that money's not real. The only purpose of money is to make money. It has no other purpose, y'all. I hope y'all hearing what I'm saying. So, in order for me to explain what I would do, I'm going to go over two situations. I'm going to go over what I did when I was working at Bank of America, to leave Bank of America to do what I do today. And I'm going to explain a scenario that y'all give me, and I'm going to tell you what I would do. Is that fair? Put a 1 in the chat if that's good enough for you. Put a 2 in the chat if I need to, elaborate on something else. But if that's fair to you, put a 1 in the chat. Me explaining what I did to leave Bank of America and what I did at Bank of America, because that plays a part in it, because people think that you got all this information because you're a banker. I ain't learned none of this stuff at the bank. None of it. Looking back on what I know now at the bank, I can tell you I seen a lot of this stuff, but I ain't know what I was looking at. And I predict once this stuff start to click for you, you're going to look back on your job, what you're doing today, and you're going to realize you were seeing all this stuff right in front of you, and you didn't even know it was there. That's how crazy this stuff is. Watch this. The first thing that I have to say out of all of this stuff, if you are super educated and you're looking for a debate, you're in the wrong place. I'm not going to debate anybody. I'm not trying to convince you. Whatever you know right now has gotten you to the place where you at today. Just like whatever I know right now has gotten me to the place where I'm at today. So if you're in a position to where you know everything and you want to debate, if you want to lend a helping hand with some information, I'm good with that, because I want to learn. I don't know everything. But if you know everything, you don't need my help. I can assure you that. If you are a person that's looking for credentials, I'm going to let you know out the gate, I ain't got no credentials. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a wealth manager. I'm not a trust manager. I'm not an insurance broker. I'm none of those things. I got to put this out in the world. None of this stuff that I'm giving you is financial advice. But I do got a couple of questions for y'all. If you are 8 years out of college, master's degree and PhDs and everything, all these letters behind your name, and you working a job, and you done spent $100,000, $200,000 student loan, and you ain't even working in the field that you went to school for, please don't interrupt me. Please don't. If you are in the field that you're in, and your student loan amount is more than your yearly salary, please don't have a conversation with me about nothing. I don't want to hear it. Because common sense ain't clicking. It's just not. If you have to get up in the morning every single day and go fight for somebody else's name, last name, other than yourself, I don't want to hear it. We're going to be on two different wavelengths. I just don't. I'm telling you. You're not going to like what I got to say, because it's going to be very different than what you learn. What I'm telling to my people that are super educated is this: do not allow your education to stop your education. That's all I'm going to ask, respectfully. For my people that have job titles, right? For my people who have job titles, I'm gonna say this respectfully as well. If you are a financial advisor or you have a financial advisor, one of the very first questions you should be asking your financial advisor, are they financially free? If your financial advisor is not financially free, you can only get as far, in most cases, as your financial advisor has got in their life. It ain't much more they can teach you than what they already know. I'm financially free, but I'm not a financial advisor. If you go reach out to a wealth manager every single week, like I used to do when I was at Bank of America, ask your wealth manager, have they built wealth for themselves? The answer in most cases are going to be no. Why do I know that? Wealthy people don't trade time for money. Wealthy people trade money for time. There's a difference. If you built financial freedom for yourself or you built wealth for yourself, you will not be going to clock in at nobody else's job. It just ain't going to happen. And you can tell me how much you love what you did and what you do. You ain't doing it because you love your family more than you love that job. We're going to get there, Sensei. Be patient. So let's get into it because it got to make sense, right? When I started at Bank of America, it wasn't Bank of America, y'all. It was a company called MBNA. MBNA was a credit card company, the biggest credit card company in the world. Most of the people that had credit cards, they had their alumni, their college that they went to, maybe their favorite sports team, LL Bean, Bass Pro Shop. You had all these different affiliations that you had, and you had a credit card with it on it. Most likely it came from MBNA. Over time, I would say probably in the year of 2006, Bank of America bought MBNA for $35 billion. So I didn't apply for Bank of America when I started working at the bank. I was transferred over to Bank of America because I was working at MBNA. When I started at MBNA, I was a sales type person. I was selling cash, balance transfers, and cash advance. You know them cats hit you up trying to get you to transfer over to that 0% interest rate for 6 months or do a cash advance 6 months. I was that joker calling, selling you money. I didn't realize what I was doing. Not even the full 20 years that I was at the bank, I still didn't realize what I was doing until after I left. We're going to get there, though. And one of the things that I did when I was at MBNA, they had this thing where they didn't really care if you were college educated. They didn't care what you had going on for the most part, as long as you were a people that like people. So you got to imagine, as a person like me that really don't like people like that, I knew how to fake it because I needed a job. MBNA was probably one of the best, and I'm not going to say the best. It was the first real job I ever had in my life. I'm going to say this again so y'all can understand what I just said. MBNA was the first real job I ever had in my life. Everything else was just me hustling, doing business, or acting like I'm doing business, but not really legit doing business. If I'm just being honest, they paid so well from what I thought. My base salary when I started at MBNA was $24,995 a year. $24,995 a year. I was making less than $25,000 a year on my base salary at MBNA. And I can tell you when I got to MBNA, straight up and down, the honest God truth, the one day that I went up, I got up to my interview at 9 a.m. I didn't leave till 8 o'clock that night. I had went through 10 interviews in one day because I told them I was never coming back out here. If I had to do more than one interview, I needed to get it all done in a day. They said, well, we do a lot of interviews. I didn't know it was going to be 10. At the time, I lived in Brazelton, Georgia. Across the street, I had a home built across the street from where people know today is called Chateau Alon. If I'm being honest, that's the truth. Now, when I said I had a home built, not like I do today when I build homes, but you know how they tell you, there's a lot over here. You can pick which lot you want and you can pick your upgrades. and they just build the house that you pick from the different models, that was me having my new home built. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. I used to drive from Brazelton, Georgia, all the way to Kennesaw, Georgia, every single day at MBNA. And I was making less than $25,000 a year. Why would you do that, bro? Why would you do that? It was taking me literally 2 hours one way to get to work every single day. And that was without traffic. I want to put this in perspective because I need y'all to understand where I'm going. Why would I do that? Because the incentive plan was amazing to me at the time. My first year at MBNA, my base salary was less than $25,000. My first year at MBNA, I made 6 figures. If you haven't done the math yet, I made over $75,000 in incentives. That's the reason why I was willing to drive 2 hours to work one way and 2 hours home one way. I never forget, a 1998. A 1998. Listen what I'm saying. I had a 1998 Ford Expedition, Eddie Bauer, sitting on some 24s. I was still zone 6. Don't ever get it twisted. Had the hydraulics on it, the whole 9 yards. The sound system being down the block. I was an ignorant dude. Just telling you, it's the truth. When I was at MBNA, I never forget the executive, the last person that I interviewed with to get the job. I never forget, she told me flat out, she said, one day you're going to have my position. I was like, I'm not college educated. I'm not none of that stuff. How they going to work? She was like, I just can see it in you. I didn't know she was setting me up. She told me, she said, how all these people are more educated than you. You're going to have to outwork them and learn everything you need to learn about this business in order for you to surpass them. Because you can have all the education that you want in the world. Anybody that knows this business the best is going to win. So that's what I went with. When I worked overtime at MBNA, I never forget, and I don't even think they were supposed to be doing this, but every hour that we worked overtime, they didn't just pay us time and a half. They also gave us $100 cash for every hour that we worked overtime in real time. They used to walk around with this. They call it the cash cow. It was a miniature safe on this little cart that they roll around, stacks of $100 bills. I never forget it. I would work 16 hours a day, meaning every single day that I went to work, I would come home with $800 in my pocket, cash. That wouldn't include my paycheck. That wouldn't include my overtime. That wouldn't include my bonuses. And I learned that business. When Bank of America bought out MBNA, I decided to transfer over to the collection side of the house of Bank of America. When I got over to the collection side of the house away from sales, again, in my mind, I done sold all these people all this cash. Now I got to go collect it. Right? When I got over there in the collection side of the process and I'm on the phone collecting, it was super easy to me because a lot of these customers that I was collecting on, I had then sold them cash. I can remember this one client, him and his dad had 3 Porsche dealerships out in California. Every 6 months, I know for a fact they were going to pay off their credit cards in full and then do another cash advance. They would take almost $800,000 every 6 months. So when I got them in my portfolio of business, being in charge of, I never forget, I would tell them every 6 months they're going to pay their card off. When their account get the charge off, I was making sure I get their books. I had the actual owner of the Porsche dealership cell phone number. I would call him up and he would say, Z5. I got you, man. I said, yeah, I know you got me, man. I just want to check in. You only got to the end of the month. So you want me to go ahead and post data check to the end of the month? Yeah, it's going to clear. All right, bet. I would get off the cell phone. Cool, that we was using cell phones back then. And all right, I just collected 700,000, y'all. Everybody clapping it up. All right, y'all don't want to hear all those details. I'm going to get past that because that was the baby steps. You get the point. What I basically did was I outworked a lot of people, a ton of people, to the point that I came ingrained with the business. When they saw the higher ups at the time, for what I see in a portfolio of business, where we're going to end the month at from a loss perspective, they saw value in me. Fast forward all the way up until they made me an executive. I can tell you over all those years being at Bank of America, I thought I knew everything about money just to realize I didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue at all. I don't know what be up with these folks, man. That was funny, but now you're blocked. Removed from room. But that's what I figured out. And throughout that 20-year career that I had at Bank of America, when I left there, obviously, I was over small business credit card, the collection side of the house. So when you hear the loss number for small business credit card for Bank of America, I was the person reporting numbers to the street. $720 million portfolio. So you only can imagine when it comes to talking about business, you couldn't tell me much about business, the business structure, the people getting business lines of credit of $2, $4, $5 million and not using a social security number as a personal guarantor. You couldn't tell me nothing about business because I was living it through all these clients that we had in this portfolio that I was responsible for. And when I say I was responsible for it, I led the efforts of 459 people directly and indirectly. I had an army of people that was out there going to get it. And I would strategize on how they're going to get it. That just was my gift. I would try to come up with every single thing in the world to figure out how to get out of Bank of America, y'all. Just like you're probably doing right now, trying to figure out how to get out of your job. That's why you're probably on my live. I would listen to everything that the banks would say when it comes to giving out financial advice, financial literacy, right? To try to learn this stuff so I can build some wealth. But I could not build no wealth working for nobody else. It's only happened in one situation where a person actually built wealth working for somebody else. It was the number 2 person at Apple. I hope y'all just picked up what I just said. That's the only time that I can remember it ever happening. Y'all might know something different. I don't know nothing different. So while I was there listening to all of these people, bankers, wealth manager, which I had a personal wealth manager, financial advisors, lawyers, investors, gurus, I'm listening to all these people. I'm doing everything they telling me to do, even running through a brick wall to get there. Nothing worked, y'all. I had multiple businesses doing everything they telling me to do, save your money, save you up 6 months for a rainy day. Okay, times didn't change. You need at least a year. I did all these different things. And none of this stuff was working, y'all. I still was busting my head working a job. And the only thing I had to look forward to is retiring. Even living below my means. Imagine I'm working at Bank of America making a couple $100,000 a year, driving around a brand new Nissan Sentra at 6'3", almost 275 pounds. I'm just telling you, I was a big dude. I'm still 6'3". I hover around 185 to 200 right now because I know better. So I did better. Think about what I just said. Nobody don't hear this stuff though. All the stuff that the banks that they were telling me to do, it was to keep me to being a consumer. All these gurus telling me to do these different things, it was only to keep me being a consumer. Think about what I just said. So I remember one day, me and my wife sitting down. I had started studying, and I was telling my wife, and me and my wife were studying. We started studying Lord Jacob Rothschild. R.I.P. to him. He passed away last year, February, y'all. R.I.P. to Lord Jacob Rothschild. But I started heavily studying him and his bloodline. And then I started looking at people like the Bilderberg, the Carrington, the looking at BlackRock. I started looking at these families and these entities, and I was like, how is all this stuff public? And the stuff that they did, nobody's talking about this stuff, y'all. I didn't try all these different things. I invested in crypto early, bought Bitcoin when it was $6,000, the whole coin, and stayed in it. I done had all type of businesses you can think of. I had a rolling dumpster business, ATM business. I done did some of everything. All of it required me still to work a job. Well, I had to work for somebody else's last name. I couldn't get out of my rat race to save my life. And I wasn't making money in these different things. It just wasn't enough to do what my dream was to be. So one day I was sitting down, and I remembered one of the things that my mom told me, God rest her soul. I remember my mom telling me, in every problem, there's a prophet. I also could remember, just thinking about life and dreaming and having these huge dreams that I thought was huge at the time that wasn't really huge. At least looking back on it now, it wasn't. I remember when I thought making 6 figures a year, I thought it would change my life. It didn't. It made it worse. Because making 6 figures a year, it just means I wound up getting more expenses. More stuff to buy. More people to help. Just dummy. Just dumb for no reason. I was still in between blessings and didn't realize it. Here I am making $200,000 a year, still in between blessings, broke. Think about what I'm saying. And then I did something that people frowned upon and people be ashamed of. I filed Chapter 7. I filed bankruptcy. And when I went through that bankruptcy process, the light bulb started going off, y'all. I realized that bankruptcy wasn't a bad thing. It was by far the best decision I had ever made in my life. Why? It gave me a clean slate. And giving me a clean slate, it gave me time to think. And I started putting 2 to 2 together. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. A lot of people won't share stuff like this because they embarrassed. Sucks for them. I remember sitting through that class, the little Audible class that you got to listen to when you're going through bankruptcy. And I can remember them just talking about something, and something said to me, why do I have all these bills? I got a home, I got cars, I got credit cards, I got all this crap. How can I minimize these bills? I'm good at numbers. One day I said, if I take and get me a credit card that's $4,000, I go get this credit card for $4,000. Every bill that I have, I'm paying it with my card. So I'm going to get a minimum payment every single month. But these are my bills that I'm paying every month. So when I get my paycheck, I'm going to pay it off in full every single month. And that's how I'm going to build my credit. Think about what I just said. I will wait till it cycled just enough so it can report to the credit bureau, even though my utilization was out of whack for the most part. And I will pay it off in full every single month, meaning they ain't have no interest rate after the second month, even though I came off of bankruptcy. So that 27% interest rate that they were trying to give me, I never paid it. I started to think. Then I started to say, if the banks is a business and we are their customers, they're not going to tell me what to do to get financially free. Why would they do that? They're going to put themselves out of business. And then something else clicked. I said, I have to be like my kids. I can hear what you say and regurgitate it just like my kids do. But I got to do what you're doing. So I would listen to everything that the bank was saying and be able to regurgitate it because I was ingrained in it. But then I started looking at what the banks were doing. Why did I do that? Because I knew there was nobody on this planet, still to this day, that know more about money than the banks. Nobody. That's what my kids showed me. So that's what I started doing. And when I saw what the banks were doing, I said, I got to take this to another level. I'm studying Lloyd Jacob Rothschild and their bloodline. I need to stop listening to what I hear them talking about. I need to do what they do. Because it ain't nobody on this planet that know more about building generational wealth than somebody that done had generational wealth for more than 2, 3, 4, 500 years. Nobody. I'll wait. What became very crazy to me, and I could not make this out at the beginning of this time, was I saw two things that the banks and the wealthy people were doing exactly alike. And I couldn't wrap my brain around it. They were putting their money into policies and properties. And when I say policies, I'm talking about life insurance policies, ones that have living benefits and death benefits. The same thing the wealthy people do. And you know what the first thing I thought when I saw this? The same thing y'all thinking right now. Oh, this is like some, be your own bank, in-home banking thing. That's the first thing I thought. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. It was scary how wrong I was. Because in my mind, I'm saying, instead of me going to the bank to get a car, I'll just go ahead and build up my life insurance policy and I'll take the loan from my life insurance policy and I'll pay myself back with interest, and then that's a better decision for me. Instead of me getting a mortgage with the bank, I'll get it with my life insurance policy. And it is a better decision, but that's not what they were doing. So after I ran through that brick wall for a couple of years and realized that wasn't what they were doing, I started digging deeper. And then I ran into something else that made me mad. It made me so upset that I did something about it. When I saw that these life insurance policies, they wasn't your normal $50,000 life insurance policy, your $1 million life insurance policy. They were 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, $100 million life insurance policy that they had between multiple people. That was unreal for me because I said to myself, where would I put my money if I want a guaranteed return on investment in a life insurance policy? Because we all leaving this planet. Everybody's leaving this planet. You don't have a choice. You're leaving. It just is what it is. You can be mad. You can be scared of it. You can freak out. You're still leaving this planet. And then when I figured out these property things and I realized it just wasn't the houses. The houses didn't have nothing to do with it. It was the land. It really made me become like a head scratcher. Fast forward to 25, we seeing what's happening in California with the fires. Everything burnt to what? The ground. Everything burnt to what? The land. Who owned the land, boys and girls? The banks. Your home that you live in right now, they don't care nothing about your house. They don't care if your house falling apart. They don't care if your house flood, catch a fire. They don't care about none of that. They don't just own your house, people. They own the land under the house too. Make it make sense. The banks buy land every day. They don't buy no freaking houses. Don't be slow. These are the things that I started to realize. When that light bulb clicked for me, I told my wife, give your job a 2-week notice. She's like, what are you talking about? Get them a 2-week notice, baby. You can't work there. She said to me, I don't know. Now, fellas, let me tell y'all something. There are good women out here, fellas. Don't treat these women bad. These women will follow if you're leading them somewhere. I promise you they will. Here's how I know this. My wife, who has a master's degree, I barely got a high school diploma. She made more money on her job than I made. I'm just telling y'all. So for me to tell her she's retiring and I'm going to retire her and I'm making less money than she's making, and she trusted enough to just go with the flow, I'm telling you, boys and girls, it changed the way I looked at women. It changed the way that I looked at women, y'all. It changed my whole thought pattern. I couldn't believe it. This is why I can get on these lives and these social media platforms and have over 1 million followers between all my platforms, and you ain't never gonna catch me sliding no chick DM. Because I work for my last name, not my first, and I'm showing my last name unconditional love. I'm just telling you, it is what it is, y'all. When she stepped out and decided to retire, I was scared as hell. I didn't know what I was going to do, y'all. But I knew that this process that I seen all these wealthy people, this bloodline that they had for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, none of their wife worked for nobody else. So I was mimicking what I saw because I said to myself, if I get this 10% right, which it's an F in any school across this great country, if I get it 10% right, I'm still looking at trillions, not millions, not billions, trillions to have access to play with. But I was scared, y'all. It made me go extra harder. It made me go so hard that I went out and got me a business coach. I was so smart that I was ignorant still. I went and got a business coach. And I spent $90,000 with a business coach. Had the contract and everything conducting this business. all these different things that this business coach was going to do for me. It didn't happen, y'all. I remember having a conversation with that business coach, and that business coach still be popping on my live to this day, checking up on me. I ain't got no bad blood with that man. That man made me turn into something else that was unreal. It was the worst, best decision I ever made in my life. When I started to look at all the stuff that this man didn't do that was on this contract, I got mad and said, why they didn't do this? And I said, how do you do this? And I started going down the rabbit hole of how you do it, and it was free. So when I found out it was free, I went ahead and did it and went to the next thing and found out that was free, and then found out the next thing was free. And I'm just accomplishing all these things that my coach was supposed to do in this contract, and found out all this stuff was free. It messed me up, y'all. That's part of the reason why I get on these live and give out all this free information. A part of me is I'm petty. I'm petty as hell, if I can be honest. So then I started digging back into this Bank of America stuff. And I started just digging into what they actually do. I started looking at the Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, just looking at what they do. I started back digging into these policies and properties. And when I saw it and it clicked, it was over. I was making money in business with all the different business stuff I was doing. I had a toilet paper company, which I still own, Triumph Tissue, 3-ply toilet paper, 200 sheets. It's the closest thing you can get to wiping yourself with silk, but I ain't selling it to y'all. I sell it to the government. But back then, you could reach me on the David Banner podcast or on Ludacris storylines, because that's what he was wiping with, wiping like a winner. I'm just telling y'all, I'm trying to be transparent. Right behind me, there's a book that says Creating the Life You Truly Deserve. It was the #1 selling book on Amazon for the first week that it popped out. I thought I was a big dog again. You could have told me that I was not a big dog. Jay Morrison? Nah, I ain't never dealt with him before. Heck no. I knew what that was from a mile away. But I thought I was a big dog. #1 selling book on Amazon. And then I got my feelings hurt all over again and realized how they claim these #1 selling books. They look at the actual category that is in. They look at how many days it's been on the platform and how many actual books have been sold divided by how many days it's been on the platform. We was on the book the first day and sold 100 copies of books. So I was averaging 100 copies. That made me the best-selling book on Amazon the first week we popped out. As the days went on, and I was like, oh, this garbage, it don't mean nothing. And I saw that little bitty check. There was pennies. You're going to send me a check for $2.75. What is wrong with you? But everybody tell you, man, I write books. So you better all put that in your journal. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a dude on the internet talking. So I kept digging, y'all. I kept digging. I knew how much money I had in my 401k. I knew what my business was doing. I told my wife, when I make my yearly salary in a month, I'm going to leave Bank of America. I made a couple $100,000 a year. I had real estate going on. I was day trading a little bit, and I wasn't supposed to be day trading. I was day trading a little bit. I was playing in crypto. I had all type of stuff going, y'all. I never forget it. It was the 26th day of April. I woke up, put on my suit. I went wolfed out like this. I was well groomed, manicure and pedicure. Well groomed, going to my office at the bank. I had then got my corporate laptop, had my corporate phone on my hip, suit on, put on my little costs, had my little glasses on, ready to go get in 2 hours worth of traffic. I looked at my accounts and I had them made 200 grand in 26 days from all the different businesses that I was doing. I never forget that day. It was like the scene out of The Wolf of Wall Street. I never forget it. I looked at that account and I said, ooh, it's game over. I told my wife, babe, I'm leaving today. And she said, you ain't gonna leave for real. And I said, babe, if I go inside the office, I'm not gonna leave just like that because I care about these people. They like my family. I've been there for 20 years. So I called my manager, my boss, and I said, hey, man, it's been a pleasure. I learned a lot from you, but today is my last day. He says, that anything I can do to make you stay? I was like, unless you can give me $500,000 a month, it ain't gonna happen. I never forget saying that. He just blessed out laughing. He said, man, you so crazy. I said, man, I'm just gonna spend time with my family, man. He said, all right. I hung up with him and I called HR. When I called HR, this when it became real because I'm leaving the bank now, y'all. I'm about to quit. The young lady said, Mr. Gibson, you've been with us for 20 years. Is there anything we can do to make you change your mind? I was like, no, I'm just gonna spend more time with my family. She was like, you know you can retire. I said, I can. She said, yeah, you can use the rule of 20. You can use the rule of 20. I said, oh, I didn't even know that. I said, yeah. She said, but you got to give us at least a 24-hour notice. So go ahead, take your corporate laptop, your corporate phone, and cut up your corporate credit card and take it to the office and get everything that's in the office that you need to take home, and bring everything back that you need to bring back. I said, wait. I already cut up the corporate credit card. The laptop and the corporate cell phone, I got a box here. I'm going to take it to UPS and I'm going to ship it back to you. Everything that's at the office, it belongs to Bank of America. Out of the 20 years that I've been coming here, I ain't never brought nothing home that's supposed to be home to the office, or vice versa, outside of this laptop and this phone and this corporate card. So I ain't got to pick nothing up. So I ain't got to go up in there. She said, yeah, well, you still got to give us a 24-hour notice. So just go up there and say your goodbyes. I ain't want to go back and forth with her, y'all. So I said, all right, hung up with her, called out sick. That's how I left Bank of America, boys and girls. That's how I left Bank of America, boys and girls. I called out sick. A person that never got sick, never missed work, always happy at work. My last day at Bank of America, I called out sick. How does that help you? The rule of 20 is simply the age that you are divided by, the age that you are subtracted by the years of service that you have on your job. If it equals up to 60, that's the rule of 60. You can retire early, which don't mean much. Because the only thing you're leaving with is your 401k if you got it. Maybe a pension when you get of age. That is at one job, that's for sure. Now that story was cute. So let me help y'all while you're at your job. If you want to get to any position or level at your company without a college degree, I'm going to give you a formula right now. Take out your pen. I'm going to give you a formula that works. I used to say 95% of the time. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this works 98% of the time at any company. It will automatically get you to the next level at your job. I'm going to give you the secret right now. There's a formula, and it works. I'm living proof. There was nobody at my position that didn't have a college degree outside of me. And I was the only man that looked like me for the most part. There was one other person that looked like me at my level, if I'm being honest. That's something different. They got more people now, but you know how they go. P plus R equals A. I'm going to say that one more time. P plus R equals A. I'm going to say it one more time just so y'all can catch it. P as in Paul. R as relationship. A as in apple. P plus R equals A. That formula right there will get you to any level at your company that you want to be in. Performance plus relationships equal advances. Period. Can't make that up if I wanted to. Performance plus relationship equal advancements. Watch this. If you at your job right now, you're the top performing person at your job, but you don't know how to be a relationship, you will train your next boss. And you probably already have been doing that already. You will never get promoted to the next position because the reality of it is you can't influence nobody if you can't build no relationships. That's the truth. If you on your job and your performance ain't good, but you know how to build a relationship, you're probably about to get fired. They don't want you influencing people on not how to perform. That's not how business works. But if you're a top performer and you know how to build relationships, that's when the advancement comes. That's how I got to my level that I got to in Bank of America. I would outperform people and I knew how to build relationships. Think about what I just said. So that's a tidbit on Bank of America without getting too more in depth because it doesn't make sense. I don't want to go too far off the deep end. But now we need to get into what would I do if I had to start all over? What would you do in your situation? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to make up a scenario. It can be as good as you want the scenario to be. It can be as bad as the scenario you want it to be. And I'm going to put myself in that position and I'm going to tell you exactly what I would do. So how much money do I need to make in a year? Y'all throw some numbers out there at me. And keep in mind, we didn't did this from $100,000 a year, $60,000 a year, $30,000 a year, 18 grand a year, 8 grand a year, Section 8, just getting out of jail, just losing your job. We didn't do it. We didn't did this from every level. So y'all tell me, and before people try to get too ridiculous, because some people trying to be funny, I make $10 a year. The person that makes the least is in the best position. Bad credit, okay. Bad credit always come up. I'm not a mom, but I can use single dad. That's cool. Single parent. That's cool. I can do that. Got some 100Ks a year. 35,000 a year. I don't think we did $35,000 a year in a long time. All right. Let me ask y'all a question. If we do this from $35,000 a year, right? Anybody that makes more than $35,000 a year, right? If I can explain how I would do this for making it at $35,000 a year, right? You would be able to understand how to do this if you made more, right? I'm just trying to make this make sense. If I did this from $35,000, put a 1 in the chat. If I did this from $35,000 a year, if you make more than $35,000 a year, you really ain't got no excuse. We want to stay there. All right, that's cool. Let's make this make more sense. If I'm bringing home $35,000 a year and I'm a single parent with bad credit, we still got to make this stuff realistic. Okay? So I'm making $35,000 a year. Am I just single at $35,000 a year? I'm just taking care of me? Do I have a child? I know what fella's gonna say. Am I on child support? I call it child support. That's cool if you want to call it that. Whatever. I don't know how you said with 4 kids. Okay, I want to be extreme. I'll be extreme. If I'm making $35,000 a year, again, these scenarios, when I ask y'all for these things, I want them to be more realistic for y'all, because if they can be more realistic, you can relate more. If you make them unrealistic, I'm still going to show you that it'll work, but you might not be able to relate. So make sure we on the same page. $35,000 a year that I bring home, got bad credit. Somebody said I got kids. All right, we'll call it multiple kids. I want to call it 2, all right, 2 kids. Cool. What else? What else I got going on? 2 kids, bring home $35,000 a year. Bad credit. What else? I'm gonna show y'all. Now, I'm doing it from a man perspective, right? I'm doing this from a man perspective. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. So me having 2 kids, do my 2 kids live with me, or am I paying child support? Y'all put that out there. Y'all tell me. Well, you won't be 2 kids in private school making $35,000 a year. We still got to be realistic, people. They living with me. All right, bet. Let's go on to the next thing. So I'm bringing home $35,000 a year. I got 2 kids. I'm not going to say my kids in college just yet, because I don't want to put the cart before the horse. So I got 35 grand a year, 2 kids, bad credit. What else? Anything else we need to put on now? Small house. Okay. We got to have a place to live. That's for sure. Okay. What else? Now, this small house, I guess when me and my significant other was together before she left, we were living in this house together, and I got left with it because she left me with the kids and everything. Car payments, sure. I got bad credit though, so y'all keep that in mind. You say in school part-time? I'm probably not going to be in school part-time, but if you say that, I'll add that to the equation. But I can tell you out the gate, school coming out the gate. I don't need school. At this point in my life with 2 kids, bad credit, bills, bring home $35K a year, I don't need school. I need money. That's just so we put this in perspective. Okay? All right. Let's go through this. Let's say I got student loans. She definitely left everything. Old bat. Old bat, don't leave me like that. Old bat, she a bat. I got student loans though, y'all. I did go to college. I fell into the American dream and then realized it wasn't a dream, it was a nightmare. So I got student loans. What would I do? No assistance. What would I do? So let's just go back and let's just say at this age, I'm going to say I am, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to call myself 35. You thought I was a millionaire? I'm not a millionaire. I don't even know what that is. Is that even a real thing? That's an illusion. Don't fall for the rabbit in Don't fall for that, young man. So I'm gonna say I'm 35 years old. This is what I got going on. I'm in a bad situation. The one thing that I understand is the best way to get out of a hole is to stop digging. I'm gonna say that one more time. The best way to get out of a hole is to stop digging. If it was me, this is what I'm gonna do. Let's say I got two boys and they looking for their dad to be a man. My baby boy, let's say he's 8. And my oldest son, let's say he's 15. I'm just throwing something out there, y'all, just to make it make sense. The first thing that I'm gonna do is the first thing that I would say anybody should do. I'm gonna reach out to my ex, the mother of my two boys, and I'm gonna have a long conversation with her. A long, deep conversation with her. And I'm gonna tell her, I'm like, look, you left me here with the boys. I'm not mad at it. I understand you wanted to get away from me because I couldn't stop cheating. It was my fault you left. And you just said you ain't dealing with none of it. You left me and my little stinking boy. Because I wouldn't stop cheating on you. Even though she left me with everything because I was doing the dirt. I'm taking responsibility. So I'm going to reach out to her and I'm going to tell her, I know that I haven't been right. And I know I've been all the way wrong. But I need you to come on home. I ain't going to cheat on you no more, baby. We can go to counseling. I talked to the pastor. He said we can come down there on Wednesday. If you don't believe me, I can call him right now on three-way, and he'll tell you that he got a spot for us on Wednesday to talk to us about how we can rebuild our family. I also got a plan, babe, that's going to change our life forever, but I need you to be here. I ain't going to be out here with all these other women. I ain't got time for that. I understand it was a waste of time, and I hurt the person that really cared about me. And you know what she gonna say to me? Man, I don't want to hear that. I done moved on my life. I got me a good job. You were trying to keep me in the house. I went and got me a job in my field. I make 6 figures a year. I don't care what you got going on. Because you should have did right when you had me. I done found me a new man that's cherishing me and doing me right. So I don't want to hear your sob stories. Sell that to somebody else. I'm like, you really went out there and found somebody else? It's been months since you ain't seen your boys. Yeah, you talk to them on the phone, but you ain't came to see them or nothing. You don't do that for them or nothing. You just leave me high and dry. That's what you were doing to me. When you was out there doing all this stuff, you weren't thinking about us. Yeah, but you left the boys with me. I'm trying to give you a taste of your own medicine. I'm like, you old bat. I'm like, all right, I just want to give you the heads up that that's what I'm looking at, man. I congratulate you on your journey. I don't know what's going on with this cat. He said, get to the point. Now, I ain't even gonna do that to you right now. I just muted you for a second. I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna get you too old of a grown man. I know you running out of time because you know you ain't got that much life left. But if you ain't learned what you need to learn in your old age and you looking for me to speed up because you ain't got that much more time, I'm really gonna take my time. It be the grown men that be acting like this. It be the brokest men on this platform talking crazy. Shut your broke ass. I'm sorry, I got beside myself. I'm sorry, y'all. This is a safe place. Everybody welcome. I'm just showing love. I'm trying to teach your broke ass something. I'm sorry. I'm playing. I'm just playing, man. I ain't block your family. I just muted you because I ain't want to see that ignorant stuff. You too old to be like that. You got gray in your beard. You too old to be acting like that. Get disciplined, man. That's why you in your situation. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just playing. I told y'all a little petty, y'all. I always be these grown knuckleheads, man. You look like you, and you probably ain't older than me. You probably, with that all that gray in your beard, you probably 39 years old. I've been on this planet for 48 years. I'm probably 10 years older than you, and you look older than me. Oh, bat. All right, y'all, let me get to it. So after she hang up on me, crush my little ego, it ain't gonna change my plan. I'm still in the same situation. Bringing home 35 grand a year. Got my 2 boys, struggling with this bad credit. You know what the next thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on downtown and I'm gonna put her ass on child support. I'm gonna run my little unproud for self right on downtown and put her ass on child support. She just told me she made 6 figures a year. She won't come see these boys. I know I can get 22%. That's $22,000 I just added to my 35 grand. Uh-oh. And she gonna pay it. And I'm gonna make sure these visitation enforced. Because these young men, you are a good woman. They need to see what a good woman look like too. And we're gonna do it by choice or by force. It is what it is. So yep, she going on child support. I'm gonna get that little 22 grand. Check that box. For my single mothers out there that don't want to put the dads on child support because they don't want to put them in the system, they y'all kids. It's about y'all last name. While I'm down there putting on child support, I'm gonna apply for food stamps. I qualify. I'm gonna apply for Section 8. I qualify. It ain't over for 18 because my boy is going to college. It ain't over to 22. Uh-oh. The milk's gone bad. 26 in some cases till they get out of college. Different conversation. So I'm applying for these things. I'm applying for food stamps while I'm down there putting on child support. I'm applying for Section 8 while I'm down there putting on child support. I'm gonna apply for that government phone while I'm down there putting on child support. I don't care how long it takes. I'm applying for it while I'm down there. I ain't gonna make a double trip. Now I got to get myself in a better position. Me and my boys we ain't living in no big old house. We're in a 1,500 square foot house. 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. Think about what I just said. 3 bedroom, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,500 square foot. I can't afford nothing, y'all. So what you think I'm gonna do next? After I done put her on child support, I'm gonna get that $22,000 a year. It's coming every month. That $35,000 I'm bringing home just went up to $57,000 that I'm getting now. It's gonna get spooky. Watch this, y'all. When I get back from putting their mom on child support, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna have a conversation with them. We're not saving no $22,000. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to my boys and I'm gonna tell them that, hey man, look, y'all, I had to put your mom on child support. I'm just letting y'all know, keep y'all in the loop. It's $22,000 a year that's going to be coming inside of this household. We're going to build something together, and I'm going to show y'all how we going to do it. And I'm going to make sure by the time y'all get grown and get into the workforce that y'all will never have to work for nobody ever as long as you live on this planet. Nobody else in our bloodline will ever work for anybody else, period. And my boys ain't gonna understand it, but they gonna see how much I struggle and they're gonna be okay with it. After I have this conversation with my boys, I'm gonna look at my situation and I'm gonna say, I gotta put my money into 3 places: basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. And this is scary because this stuff is not something that's going to change my life instantly, but I know long-term, it is a game changer. So my money is going to go there. Watch this. My credit is bad. I got a piece of a car. It just is what it is. I'm going to reach out to a company called LexisNexis. Somebody put it in the chat. LexisNexis. On YouTube, I can put a banner up, I think. There we go. LexisNexis. 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 Somebody put it in the chat on these other platforms. LexisNexis is a company that houses all your information. I mean, all of it. I'm going to reach out to LexisNexis and I'm going to tell them to freeze my clue report and my personal file. They're going to try to upsell me on some extra privacy. I'm going to say, sir, ma'am, I can't afford it. Just freeze my clue report and my personal file. They're going to tell me they're going to send me out a PIN number in 3 days. I'm going to say, thank you very much. I'm going to get off the phone with them. I'm going to wait my 3 days until I get my PIN number. When I get my PIN number, I'm going to reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And when I reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, I'm going to say, that's not my address. Validate this debt. I don't owe this debt. That's not my balance. That's not my account. I never applied for this stuff. Now, we all know they got 30 days to verify your information. If you know that these credit bureaus got 30 days to verify your information, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to make sure we're going to connect these dots because I'm about to show y'all something. As my great uncle used to say, I'm going to learn you something. I'm going to learn you something. Y'all know they got 30 days to verify your information, right? A lot of people know that. What a lot of people don't know is they're going to reach out to LexisNexis to verify your information. A lot of people don't know that. What even less people know, being that your clue report and your personal file is frozen, nothing's coming back. We all know what happens when nothing comes back, right? It's coming off your credit and it's free. Uh-oh, I just fixed my credit. Game over. I still ain't touched that $57,000 that I'm getting between what I'm bringing home and that $22,000 yet. I didn't fix my credit. What I'm going to do after that? I'm going to reach out to NACA. NACA is a government program that will assist you with getting a home. You just got to be willing to move into the property. You can't have no lates on your credit over the last 12 months. And you need a down payment. Plus, you got to sit through that program. Me and my boys going to go sit through that NACA program. I'm already in the house. But we're going to sit through that NACA program. NACA. NACA. Just want to put this in perspective. I think on this, I got one, right? I don't have one over here. I don't. Okay, that's cool. NACA. Imagine that for a second. Well, let me go through it. The down payment, I ain't got no money, but I do qualify for the down payment assistance program. Check that box. You can't have no lates in your credit in the last 12 months. I just clean my credit. Check that box. You got to be willing to move into the property. I'm willing to move into that property. Check that box. I'm going to go through that program with NACA. And I'm going to find me and my boys a property because they're going to base the actual mortgage, even if they got to get the rate down to a 0%, on what I can afford to pay every single month. So they only going to see that I'm able to afford to pay $1,200 a month. I might have me a house that's $250,000 paying $1,200 a month. A beautiful 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath home for $250 that me and my boys gonna move into. The home that we have that we've been struggling to pay in. As soon as I move into that, guess what I'm doing over there, boys and girls? I'm renting it out. We just signed up for the program. It's gonna take a year or two. What am I gonna do after that? Now I gotta dig into this money, y'all. This $57,000 that I got. I just told you my money only going to 3 places: basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. Here's how this money gonna get split up. This $57,000. Y'all already think I'm gonna be using that $22,000 child support to get my hair fixed and my nails done. I'm taking all her money to get my hair fixed and my nails done. I'm gonna go get my hair fixed and my nails done with that $22,000. I sure is. You got to be on the job for 2 years. Even if you do, it's okay. I'll go through the program for 2 years. It don't matter what it takes. I'm just gonna do it. I'm already in the house. So with that $57,000, it's gonna be broken up in 3 places. Watch this. $32,000 a year of the $57,000 that I have is going to go into basic living expenses. Not a penny more, not a penny less. Now with 2 boys, that's going to be tough with these bills. Is $32,000 going to be enough? Probably not. It probably ain't going to be. So I'm going to take $37,000, which is going to leave me 20 grand left over, and I'm going to put it into basic living expenses. Not a penny more, not a penny less. That means that me and the boys, we ain't going to have a whole bunch of extravagant trips, no big Christmas, birthdays. We're going to do a lot of stuff at the parks, where we out there having fun. We're going to check out a lot of free events that we can go check out together as a family. When I see family nights for certain things, I'm going to jump on those family nights if I can. As far as them being at the barbershop, I'm gonna be an expert with these clippers, cutting their hair, making sure they good, teaching them how to cut their hair. I'm gonna do what I can as far as in, getting them the clothes that they need. We got to get this stuff out the mud, y'all. I ain't gonna be out here looking for no woman. I ain't gonna be dating. You might as well say I'm just gonna be celibate for this remaining haul that I'm in this process, because I ain't got time, y'all. My boys are my focus. So $37,000 going to basic living expenses. They're gonna leave me with $20,000. With that 20 grand, is only going to 2 places, y'all. That 20 grand, 15 grand is going to the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford. Why? Because my health is my wealth. The healthier I am, the bigger the life insurance policy I can get. That whole life insurance policy got a living benefit and a death benefit. As I'm putting that 15 grand into that policy over the months, which equals to 15 grand in a year, I'm gonna be getting compound interest daily, tax-free, on that money that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest. This is gonna get wild. This is going to get real wild. That's going to leave me with $5,000. With that $5,000, I'm going to go and get us 1 acre land every year. And before somebody say, you can't even buy a 1/4 acre land for $5,000, I know. That's why I said I'm going to buy 1. You're not buying land in a major city. You're buying land 30 to 45 minutes out from the major city. In every state in America right now today, you can get an acre of land for $5,000 or less. Also in every state, they have these things called land banks. A land bank is like a foreclosure auction, but for land. You say, Cap, I ain't trying to convince you. It's like a foreclosure auction for land. A lot of people ain't never heard of a land bank auction before. The starting bid on those properties are $3,000 and it don't be nobody there. The last land bank auction that I went to, me, my brother and sister went, there were 8 people there and we were 3 of the 8. And when you pay cash for it, the $3 grand, guess what, boys and girls? It's yours free and clear. Ain't no liens. I hope y'all just picked that up. The 41.5 acres of land that y'all just witnessed me on live earlier today, that me and my wife paid cash for, it was $3,800 an acre. We're 38 minutes from downtown Atlanta. But nobody don't hear that. Uh-oh. The milk's gone bad. That's my plan, y'all. And that's what I'm going to do for the remaining 10 years of my life. That means by the time my plan coming to fruition, it's a long haul. I'm stressed. I've been struggling with my boys. My boys getting up in the age now. My youngest boy is 18. My oldest boy is 25. He able to start working for the family business last name, and we're going to grind it out. In year 10, guess what just happened, y'all? In year 10, if I'm buying 1 acre land every year, I've been putting 15 grand into this whole life insurance policy for the last 10 years. I will own 10 acres of land. Notice I ain't said nothing about taking a loan for no land. Notice I ain't said nothing about partnering with nobody. Notice I ain't said I needed a mentor. I will own 10 acres of land. And before somebody start talking about property taxes, if you own an acre of land and it don't have a property on it, your property ain't no more. Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. Thanks, Mike. Can y'all hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me over there on TikTok. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me over there on TikTok. I know y'all missed a lot of it. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me on TikTok. You can hear me on TikTok. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me on TikTok. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me on TikTok. I got muted. All right, that should be good now. On other platforms, if y'all can hear me and see me, put a 1 in the chat. All right, y'all can hear me, see me. All right, cool, we back. So like I was saying, on an acre of land, if you don't have a property on that land, right? On an acre of land, if you don't have a property on that land, your property tax ain't gonna be no more than $50 a year. You guessed it. $50 a year on 10 acres is $500 a year, boys and girls. And you won't see that $500 until year 10. Think about what I just said. Even in California, you can go to LandWatch, or let me do one better. Go to a broker or a real estate agent that specializes in land. Tell them to send you every piece of land in California that's 1 acre or more for $5,000 or less. I guarantee you they will send you so much stuff for free, it will blow your head off. I know people think I'll just be talking. That's why I show y'all a lot of this stuff in real time. It don't matter what state you're in, family. That's the point. In 10 years, I will own 10 acres of land. Also in 10 years, in that whole life insurance policy, I will have at least 200 grand in that whole life insurance policy that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest, tax-free. How I'm gonna show you on Zillow in real time on this platform. And I'm on 5 platforms. Just go on Zillow and look it up. Do the lead work. Come on now. Roll, folks, man. Do the lead work. I ain't gotta convince you. All right. I ain't here to debate with your family. Again, let me explain something to y'all. I'm not trying to convince you. And I'm not gonna hold your hand. I don't give a damn if you make it. If you want this stuff that I'm talking about, you gotta do something about it, because only you gotta live with the results, not me. I done did what I done did. So, just go do the work, family. With that $200,000, I'm going to take that $200,000 out my whole life insurance policy. I'm going to borrow it because I've been disciplined to not touch it. I'm going to take that whole 200 grand. I'm going to take me an acre of land of the 10 acres that I own, 1 acre of it, and I'm going to build me a single family home. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. As a person that then built 29 homes out of his own pocket cash, I know whatever the value of the home is, it takes half of the amount to build the property. So if I take $200,000 and I build me a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, single family home, I know I got me a house worth $400,000. I hope y'all just picked that up. So when I take this $200,000 and I build this single family home, I might not be able to build a duplex because I'm going to be 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. It might be a place where I got to have a septic tank. Here in Georgia, just FYI, if you're going to build something that has a septic tank, you got to be on 0.75 acres of land per dwelling. So I don't know if they'll let me do a duplex in certain places. So that's why I'm saying single family home, just to make it broad for everybody. But watch this. Even with me, and you caught that, if you were doing duplex, you could just multiply what I'm talking about. That's the beauty about what I'm saying. I'm doing worst case scenarios, y'all. If y'all haven't picked this up yet, I'm doing worst case scenarios. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. Because technically, on a 1 acre lot, if you're in a place where you only need a 1/4 acre land, you could put 4 properties on it, if I'm being honest. So I'm doing worst case scenarios. So if you can do something different, let's do the math. Watch this. Say duplex is a single family. Okay. But for this example, we're talking about a single family home. What's going on with you, man? Oh, I get it. I get it. All right. I understand. I get it. I get it. I get it. For those that are new that are popping in my live, I'm sharing something with people on what I would do in a situation. I know, Sensei, some people you just got to let them do what they do. They don't really understand. They don't understand that multifamily is 5 units or more. They don't have a clue. It's people that just be talking. People that just be talking. So I'm not really tripping. I think people come into live and ladies, y'all give me a second, everybody. I have to say this because I have to say this on every live. Ladies, I apologize to y'all because it always be grown men. The only thing that these grown men own is that's in their name is a social media account. See, I'm paused. That's the only thing that they own in their name. That's the only thing they got in their name is a social media account. If I'm paused on here, somebody else tell me. The only thing this person got in their name is a social media account. And they trying to tell me on things that I'm actually doing in real life. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm tripping. But ladies, let me tell you this. Let me assure you this. There are a lot of good men out here. You just have to realize the one that are being ignorant like this, they just them. It ain't all men. It's just them. They the dummies. Okay? So back to my story before I was so rudely interrupted. Yeah, you're right about that, B. Oh, no, you need the haters because sometimes you got to put the medicine in the candy because you're going to get a lot of distractions. And that's a part of it. Student loans. I forgot about student loans, y'all. How you let me forget about the student loans? Now, if you can get the student loans removed from your credit, but you still got to pay them people. They still want their money. It don't go away. Right? But what I would do with student loans is this. Every administration that come into the White House, they have something called a student loan forgiveness plan. Within that time frame, I'm applying. I'm getting approved, and I'm getting my student loans removed. How do I know this works? My wife got over 6 figures of student loans, all forgiven. And she got a master's degree. She went to college. You know how we say back, and she went to school. She's smart. Got all that forgiven. So I'm gonna be applying for that student loan forgiveness program every chance I get until they approve it. It's coming off my credit, and they ain't gonna have to pay it. Uh-oh. I don't care if I gotta go volunteer down at the church. Me and the boys gonna go down there and volunteer at the church so they can give me the credit so they can go ahead and remove it from my actual. I hope y'all picking this up. I ain't go to college. I ain't got no student loan, so I can't tell you details how that stuff works. I just know my wife did it. It worked for her. I've heard other people do it. It worked for them. So I would ask you just Google the student loan forgiveness plans and see what are out there so they can help you forgive your student loans. Let me get back to business. So that 200 grand that I took out of that whole life insurance policy, I'm gonna take an acre land. I'm gonna build me a single family home, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. Watch this. Let me ask y'all a question. This is where it's time for y'all to participate. Where y'all live at, I don't care what state you live in. If you go rent a house, there's 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. How much is the rent? I can tell you in Georgia, you probably spending anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000. If you move 30 to 45 minutes outside of Atlanta, you spending $25 to $3,000 on that actual property. In some places it's cheaper, in some places more. I hope y'all catching it. So what y'all think I'm gonna do once this property is built? I'm gonna rent it out. I got a property worth 400 grand now. I'm gonna rent this property out, right? Ain't that what y'all gonna do? You gotta be smart. But you're thinking, I need my money back. So I can keep doing this. Once I rent this, I almost forgot, y'all. You're not becoming a landlord today. You're not becoming a landlord for 10 years. So let me do this math right. How much is that 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city? How much that rent gonna be in 10 years? It ain't gonna be $3,000 no more. How much is the rent gonna be in 10 years? I'm listening. It's easily gonna be double. Easily. Uh-oh. So if it's double in Georgia, that means it's $6,000. I'm going to be cheap. I'm going to charge $5,000 a month. Game over. Y'all don't see how me and my boys' life just changed forever? Y'all don't see how they ain't never going to have to work for nobody else for the rest of their life? No, you ain't got to live in it. You paid cash for it. You just going to put a mortgage on it. Watch this. We ain't got to that point. If you have a builder that's building you a home, the builder will charge you per square footage. You can get you a builder that'll charge you probably somewhere around about $100 per square foot, and that's me being safe in every state. You get it? At $100 per square foot, if you get a 2,000 square foot home, just 2,000 square foot, that'll get you a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, new construction home. $1,000. But in most cases, if you understand that you can be your own builder and you paying cash for it, just like you can do here in Georgia, watch this. You can build as cheap as $70 a square foot. So on that 2,000 square foot home, it'll cost you $140,000. Again, y'all, I'm using worst case scenarios. I'm using worst case scenarios at $200,000. I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. You get it? So now guess what I'm gonna do? I got this tenant paying me $5,000 a month. I feel like a big dog. I went from bringing home $57,000 here with my $35,000 in my child support, which is getting cut off as we speak, because I done waited all this time, right? To get $5,000 a month. That's $60,000 a year. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? No? All right, let me keep going. Now I'm gonna go put this property in debt. I'm gonna mosey right on up to the bank, and the bank gonna say this property worth $400,000. Think about what I just said. The bank gonna say, "Oh, you're an investor. You a big investor. I need you to at least put down 20%." 20% of $400,000. Y'all ain't did the math real quick, boys and girls, is what? $80,000. I ain't got $80,000. I got $80,000 in equity. I got $80,000 in equity. Think about what I just said. That means the bank is going to give me that $320,000 mortgage, boys and girls. Who's getting that $320,000? You. Tax-free. That your tenant about to pay back. Uh-oh. The milk's gone bad. Now I got $320,000 in this hand. The mortgage on this $320,000, what is that? If you add in taxes, insurance, well, you ain't gonna have no PMI because you paid the 20%. But let's just say you got taxes and all the other stuff on it inside your mortgage payment, right? $1,800. Call it $2,500. I don't give a damn. Call it $3,000. Let's say they charge you a crazy interest rate. I don't know. Call it $3,000 a month. The tenant paying you $5,000. $3,000 going to the mortgage. You got $2,000 left over and $320 in this hand. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? Y'all didn't get it? No? Okay, what I'm gonna do next? It took me $200,000 to build this property. I got $320 back. I got 9 more acres left. I'm only gonna do this a total of 10 times. Wait, if I do this 10 times, it take me $200,000 to build this property. I'm getting $320 back. That means I'm getting an extra $120,000 Every time I do this process, time 10, I just generated $1.2 million tax-free that my tenant paying back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Tell me what job y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. Tell me what business y'all running right now where y'all generating this type of money. I'm listening. I'm just trying to hear it because I don't know. You just generated $1.2 million from me bringing home $35,000 a year with a little bit of discipline and time. I just changed me and my boy's life. I didn't go out here and get no mentor. And I could have stepped it up with going to get the extra job. I could have stepped it up with going out and getting my builder's license. Paid a couple $100 to become a builder. So that when it was time for me to build my property in year 10, guess what happened, boys and girls? Think about what I'm saying. I'm talking about from a worst case scenario, bad credit, student loans. Tell me again which one of your gurus telling you this stuff. And they may know this stuff, y'all. They might. But they're not gonna share this with you for free. Y'all just got this stuff for free. But wait, there's more. You remember that mortgage payment is $3,000 and the tenant giving you $5,000 a month? But the mortgage $3,000? That $2,000 ain't taxed out the gate yet, y'all. Y'all know why? You got to get what's called a return on your capital first. You know the $80,000 you put down in equity on this property? That $2,000 ain't getting taxed until you get that $80,000 back. So not only did I get that $1.2 million, if I'm also getting $2,000 on 10 properties, I'm also getting $20,000 a month on top of the 1.2. Tell me again what jobs y'all got making this type of money. I'm listening. Tell me what business you conducting right now where you making this type of bread. I'm listening. And I'm not telling y'all what I think. I just told y'all what I did. But people don't hear that stuff. Because people believe they understand so much stuff that and I get people got experiences, y'all. And I will never negate it. But you got to do something different, y'all. It don't make sense for you to be the smartest person in the room so you can debate the world, but not do this stuff in real life. I've been going live now for the last 128 weeks straight, giving y'all free information. And it's been a blessing for me to be able to do it. Don't get me wrong. But what's been more of a joy is hearing people sending me DMs saying, Zabo, I applied some of this stuff you were talking about, family, and I'm telling you, this stuff crazy. Shout out to Miss Linda. Miss Linda then retired from her job, man. She bought her 21 acres back in Mississippi, man. She built her properties, man. She doing what she do. I'm not telling you to be a builder. I'm not telling you to jump away from your business. I'm telling you, start doing what these wealthy people do that didn't have wealth in their family for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Forget all this other lip service. Money is not real and it's not yours. It's all going back to the original sender. You just got to choose who you're going to give your money to. But it's actually going back to the original sender and you're not the original sender. So all the money you got in the bank, it sounds good, but you're just holding it for somebody else. That's the truth. Who you choose to give it to, it's up to you. I know I just shared a lot of stuff in the last hour and 50 minutes that we've been on here. Y'all gave me an example. I gave you a scenario. I'm on multiple platforms, so If this stuff made sense, what I just shared with you, put a 1 in the chat, put a 2 in the chat if it didn't make sense, and tell me what didn't make sense, and I'll do my best to try to clarify. So a lot of people on TikTok saying they get it. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, how y'all looking over there? Instagram good, YouTube good. All right, cool. How do you buy land? I think you missed it. Did you miss that first step? I mean, the easiest thing for you to do, I'm not going to try to tell you to be super knowledgeable when you don't know a lot about it. But what I will say is just do your research on land first, right? And when you do your research on land first, you got to understand what you're doing with the land, right? If you know you're going to be building homes on the land, you want to make sure the lot is buildable. So you want to get your surveys, your perk tests, all those different things. You want to do your due diligence to make sure the lot is buildable, right? You want to know what the acreage is in this actual county that you're in to make sure you have enough acreage to build one dwelling, if that makes sense. You might say, man, I want about 9.5 acres of land, but in that county, you might need 10 acres to build one dwelling. Think about that for a second. So you want to start going down to the county, asking them questions. They're going to give you this information for free. You can go to planning and zoning and ask a ton of freaking questions. They will give you so much information for free, it won't even make no sense. Zoning. Putting your land in conservation like we just did on the 41.5 acres of land earlier today. Do you need to look at some other things that are out there? Can you have livestock on your land? Can you have a burial site on your land? Is the land commercial? The land that you're buying, not only do you have the rights to just the minerals, the oil, and all this other stuff up on your land, do you have the timber rights on your land? Because if you don't have the timber rights and somebody else got the right, don't be surprised when 20 years come and them trees then grew and they come on your land cutting it. And you say, you can't cut on my land. This is my timber. These are things that you just got to do. It's so much stuff that you're not going to learn everything. You're not going to learn everything. So the best thing I would suggest you do, get you a broker or agent that specializes in land, build a relationship with them, let them know what you're looking for and what you're trying to do, and let them find you some land. And then when they find you land, just start asking them all the questions that you can think of based on all the research you've done to make sure you can do whatever it is you're trying to do. You might buy some land and you might not want to make it buildable land. You might want to buy some land for hunting land. Is this a good area for hunting? What would I ask them off the rip? Couple of things, right? Do they have utilities that if I'm building on it, do it have utilities that's close by that I can connect to? So I ain't got to spend an arm and a leg getting utilities to these properties I'm trying to build. Is there a water source on here? Is it city water? Do I got to build wells? Like, what do I need to do? Right? So these are just common things I would ask, right? The other thing I would ask is, what are the people in the area doing? Like my neighbors. Did my neighbor just do a homestead? Do they have a farm? Do they have a chicken plant over here with a whole bunch of chicken coops? That's going to be a stinking little area. You don't know if you want to live there. And you don't know if you want to build something for other people to live there. Is it a paper company? That stink worse than the chicken spots, y'all. That's a whole nother animal. So it really depends on what you want to do with the land. A lot of times when people get land, the very first thing they think about is building homes on land or building something in regards to where they can become a landlord. And that's a good thing, but there's so much other stuff. You might find a flood zone that you can turn to a huge pond or a huge lake and make it where people come and pay you to go fishing. It might be some just straight up land that you lease out to farmers. You might want to lease your land out to have a solar panel farm. Pecan trees. You might want to build some hangars. I don't freaking know, but you got to have an idea. There's so much stuff that you can do with land. It's endless. And we're seeing it in real time, y'all, in California. And I keep pointing back to California because It sucks what happens out there, what happened out there with the natural disasters, right? But there's a couple out there, this billionaire that owns 60% of the water source out there in California. And they could have changed. They could have changed the outcome of what actually happened to all them homes out there in California. But for whatever reason, they couldn't make that deal. Everybody like, man, they own all this water company. That company also own Fiji Water. They own Pistachio. You know, little nothing, you know. Plum. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? People overlooking the obvious. This couple is just not 60% of the water source in California. They're landowners. They own the land. Nobody really digs into how much land these people own. Everything goes back to the land, people, including you. And that's the part that becomes crazy, y'all. That's the part that becomes scary. If people would have been buying land 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city in LA, they would have been in a better spot. Way better spot. Right? Maybe you could have bought enough land where you could have been a portion of the water source to get that contract. So you could have helped put out them fires. Maybe. I don't know. But you gotta start thinking, y'all. This stuff is about thinking through these different things. You can't just want to leave your job just because you're sick and tired of your job. When you get out here and start working for your last name, when you start out, you're going to be busting your ass. You're going to be grinding. And then once you actually get to a place where you can coast, now you got a different stress because you're going to be employing people at some point in your life, I hope. And when you are responsible for taking care of other people's household, that's a different level of stress. It just is what it is. I appreciate you, family. So if you're going to buy land, I would just say speak to a broker or agent that specializes in land. You can do a lot of Google searches on what questions to ask. You want to see things like, you know, is the community safe if you're going to be building homes? Where's the closest hospital? Where there's stores at where people can shop? Are there schools around? Like, those are just basic things that you would do when you're looking to buy a house anyway. You're still using that same concept, but the land itself, you just want to make sure it's buildable. You also can call down, again, to planning and zoning and just ask them. They'll tell you for free over the phone. They will flat out tell you. They're going to tell you what you can do and what you can't do. If there's restrictions, they're going to know. You can't do that without them. So hopefully that helps, family. Whew, we've been on here for almost 2 hours, y'all. Jeez Louise. I appreciate y'all always tapping in with me. These last 128 weeks, man, they have been crazy. They've been super crazy. No course is going to come. I'm actually starting up my own platform. You'll be able to subscribe on that platform. The subscription fee is going to be so small, it's going to probably blow your top off. And when I say so small, it's going to be small. And a lot of my live, not a lot of them, all of my live streams that I do are going to be streamed on that platform, which is my own. So there's not going to be like a Twitch or a Patreon or a only, none of that crap. It's going to be my own platform that I'm actually having built out. And you'll be able to go over there and watch me stream. You'll be able to watch pre-recorded stuff as well, and watch me do the things that I'm talking about in real time. So as I'm building a house, you're going to be able to get the play-by-play on what the actual cost is from beginning to end. If I'm at a livestock auction, you're going to be able to watch me bid on cows and goats. If I'm at a land bank auction, you'll be able to watch that go down. I don't know if I'm gonna be buying much stuff at land bank auction because they typically don't have big plots of land like I like to buy right now. But you know, it is what it is. Once you freeze your clue report in your personal file with LexisNexis, it typically takes them about 3 days to send you out that PIN number. Once you send them out that PIN number, you're good to go. If you have a situation where, let's say you dispute some on your credit and they say they verified, there are other places out there that hold your information too. I won't talk about them on these platforms. I'm saving that for my other platform. But LexisNexis is by far the most well-known one, if that makes sense, and you can get a lot of stuff done for the most part. But if you do run into an issue where the credit bureau say, hey, I verified this information. Oh, that's good, miss. That's dope. But if they say, like, say, Experian say, I verified your information, you can reach out to the CFPB. The CFPB is, how can I put it? It's Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So they for the consumer, right? So if they said they verify something, you know they can verify because that stuff is frozen. You can reach out to the CFPB and launch a complaint and make them re-verify. The only difference is they're not gonna have 30 days to verify with the CFPB. They only gonna have 15 days and they gotta show them proof that they verified that information. And they ain't got no proof. How do I know that works? If you've been on my live long enough, when I was telling my story about me working at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, you heard me say that I filed Chapter 7, right? When I filed bankruptcy, I got my bankruptcy removed off my credit. When I did the whole thing with LexisNexis, and that bankruptcy is outdated at this point anyway, so it's gone anyway. So it is what it is. But when I did it, I don't know if it was Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. I can't remember. I don't remember if it was one of them or two of them. They said they verified the information. I was like, no, you didn't. And I'm going back and forth on the phone with a representative. We're like, we verified this information. Notice I ain't saying that about sending no letters. Think about what I just said. And for people that's going to say, well, you can just go to a credit repair person. Let me explain something to y'all in real time. You might want to check with your state because in some states, like Georgia, it is illegal to have a credit repair business. I'm just telling you. So you might want to check with your state first before you get somebody hemmed up. So what I did was, I knew LexisNexis stuff was frozen and they ain't verified there. I said they must have went to the courts. So I called down to the courthouse and I asked them, could they verify my bankruptcy? They said, or could anybody verify it? They told me no. I said, huh? They said, it's only one person that can verify your bankruptcy. That's you in person with a photo ID. I said, so the credit bureaus can't call y'all or they can't send y'all in to verify this information? They said, no, we can't get that stuff out. So I went down up to the courts. I got this stack of paper, paid $25 for that stack for my bankruptcy stuff, just to make sure I wasn't tripping and they were telling me the truth. And then I called them back, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, told them, I went to the courts. They said y'all ain't verified nothing. Y'all didn't validate this stuff. Side note, if the bankruptcy, if any creditor, if any credit bureau validates your credit, they are breaking the law. I ain't gonna tell you why unless you do your research on that. So when I told them that, they said, well, we did, so it is what it is. I filed the complaint with the CFPB. It came off my credit in 7 days. I got that letter saying bankruptcy removed from credit. Uh-oh, the milk's gone bad. So again, y'all, I'm not talking about things that are hypothetical. I'm not talking about things I've heard. I'm telling you things that I've done and things that I've experienced firsthand. That's why I speak so boldly on these platforms. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully I answered your question. Cryptocurrency. I don't know, man. I can't really say if it's a good thing or a bad thing yet. Because I'm not smart like that. I'm slow. I am. I'm ignorant and I'm slow. I promise y'all, I am. I'm not the sharpest marble in the bag. I'm smart in spots and I stay in my spots. I bought Bitcoin when it was $6,000 and I just held on to it just in case something happened. But to me, I can't gamble my money like that. When I bought Bitcoin for $6,000, what was that, back in 2018? I want to say it was back in 2018. I was doing a lot of gambling. I don't gamble no more, y'all. Putting your money into the market, crypto, for me, that's gambling. I ain't doing it. I can't do it. Plus, I always got the day old question that I always ask people. If you lose your password on your wallet, can you call customer service and reset your password? If you lose your password on your wallet, can you call customer service and reset your password? When I found out there is no customer service, I was even more freaked out. I'm like, ooh, and I'm irresponsible too. I can't afford to lose my password with all this money. I can't keep putting money in there and lose my password. Then the other thing that freaked me out even more, made me say I'll never do it again, was this. The person that created cryptocurrency. Do y'all know that person name? Y'all know the man name? I'm gonna put it in chat. I know I got some of my cryptocurrency family in, and I got a lot of love for y'all. Shout out to y'all. But at least you have it in cold storage. Somebody else just said it over there too. Shout out to that. What's the guy name that invented all this cryptocurrency stuff? What's his name? Anybody know his name? Yeah, I think that's his name. I think you're right, Heather. I call him. I call that joker Sashimo. Sashimo is missing, y'all. They didn't say he left this planet. They said he missing. He created all this stuff and he missing? I didn't say he left this planet. I said he missing. Don't nobody know where he at. That means he lost. So at any point, he can just come out and say, I'm taking all of it, and it ain't nothing. Nobody can. That sounds like the banks to me. What's up, Nate? Shout out to Nate over here on IG, y'all. That sounds like the banks to me, y'all. Sound like the banks. You putting your money in this thing that you think is a holding facility because you can't put your money up under the mattress, not realizing it ain't a holding facility, it's a lending institution. So you putting your money inside of a bank for them to lend it out. You put your money inside the bank for them to lend it out. And they lending it to people just like me that understand the power of zero. Guess what we doing with your money? We buy soap, bottled water, forks, napkins, spoons, pigs, chickens, cows, goats, horses in bulk, and then turning right back around and selling it right back to you for 5 times what it's worth using your money. Uh-oh. It's a wicked game, y'all. It's a wicked game, y'all. So put my money into another digital product that's in the air for them to lend it to somebody else, for them to do the same thing to me, I'm busy that day. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep putting my money in the land. Why? Because everything goes back to the land, boys and girls, including you. When you take your money out your wallet of your cryptocurrency, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, go buy you some clothes, go put them brand new tires on your car, go eat that food. All of it's coming from a landowner. Everything goes back to the land, boys and girls, including you. So I want people that's in cryptocurrency, in the stock market, I want them to make so much money, it don't make no sense. It's all coming back to the landowner. As a young man that owns 295 and a half acres of land, no loans, it's all coming back to part owners of America. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your service. It's a blessing. Yeah, the computer go off, it can be bad. If you lose the internet, it can be a wrap. But you know, you got your wallet, you can go try to search for internet service. But if we go into this thing like they say we're gonna go into in some form of a blackout, it's game over. Y'all saw what just happened with the market crashing for that time frame because of whatever happened. You can blink your eye and it can all be gone. My question always is, if you lose access to everything that you got, all the digital currency that you have, what would you do? You still gonna have these bills. You still gotta have somewhere to live. You still gotta eat. In this country called America, it's against the law for you to be homeless. Uh-oh. They locking you up and they paying you fines. You got to pay them fines, y'all. That's what they say. They ain't started enforcing it yet, but it's coming. But if you got land, guess what's going to happen? When you decide to barter something, guess who you bartering with? Landowners. When it's time to get that food processed so you can eat, reach in your cryptocurrency bag and buy that grocery from that landowner. The clothes in your back come from a landowner, boys and girls. As a person that went and bought a few acres of this live, and I started showing y'all live on TikTok, y'all know TikTok, they kicked me off of live because I was showing y'all the land that I own with this on it. They said I was being offensive. I'm sorry, y'all. I know this y'all platform. I love y'all. This is a safe place. Everybody welcome. Think about what I just said. When I realized they paying people $4,000 an acre to come and cut your timber, I was like, what? For some trees? When I found out what they gonna give me for that Georgia yellow pine straw, them pine straws that I have on them 41 and a half acres of land, I was like, this is crazy. When I realized how much people make for having a solar panel farm, y'all don't have an idea. It's way bigger than what you can imagine. And the money, if we're talking about money, it don't even compare. And that's me being honest. It don't compare. Here's why I said don't compare. No shade to nobody doing crypto, no shade to nobody doing stock market, no shade to nobody that buying box trucks. You know, that was a thing. Y'all need to go get you some box trucks. Okay, let me know how I go. Everybody saying put your money all these places. Okay, let me know how I go. Y'all, you're looking at a person that then tried almost everything. I didn't wholesale properties before. I didn't own apartment complex, not no big apartment complex, small apartment complexes, but you know, I done owned apartment complex before. I used to scalp tickets. I do all type of stuff, y'all. I didn't try everything. None of that stuff allowed me to retire, me and my wife. It didn't. None of it. Even when I was doing cryptocurrency and day trading, making killer plays, looking at the moving average, I know this stock right here gonna move 75 cents. Guaranteed every day. So I need to buy me 10,000 shares. Every time it moved 10%, I'm pulling my money out. I'm making $1,000 an hour. I hope y'all just caught what I said. I got all these stocks. I know they're going to move 75 cents each. I'm buying 10,000 shares. When they move up 10 cents, I'm making $1,000 an hour. I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. So I'm not just saying this stuff just to be saying it. All this stuff that I've done in my life, maybe I went good enough because I'm not college educated. I still had to work a job. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Everybody that I've met, and it's because maybe I don't know a lot of people, everybody that I didn't met that be telling me to put my money in cryptocurrency, when I ask them how much money they made last year, they always give me a percentage. I'm up 400%. You up 400%? That sounds amazing. How much money is 400%? $2.35. So how you pay the bills, man? I work, I work from home and I do the cryptocurrency stuff too, man. So you got a job and you doing cryptocurrency? You got 2 jobs? The math ain't mathing to me, y'all. I had this one cat, and I don't want to call him a cat, I just got to call him what it is. My cousin, who's really good at stock market, crypto. I mean, he's probably one of the smartest traders that I've probably seen. He probably doing about 100 grand a year from it, right? And I think that's probably the best that I've seen. And I don't know too many people that do it that at a high level. But even if you making $500,000 a year in it, okay, I get it. As y'all saw on my live, I showed y'all one of the 11 business that I have, which wasn't the best business, doing $400,000 a month, and it wasn't in stocks. I'm gonna say that one more time. I showed y'all in real time one of my 11 businesses that I'm a part of, me and my wife. I showed you one of the business that ain't doing the best. It's doing 400 grand a month. I ain't seen nothing that touch it, y'all. All this stuff goes back to the land, y'all. That's what they tell you. They make millions and then they try to sell you on joining their actual program. You think that they make millions, they make their money off of you by you buying into their program. Think about what I just said. I get it. Might just be selling your dream, family. Because my question always is this, and it ain't no hate on nobody, it's love. I want everybody to win that can win. I do. If you're making millions on a platform, in crypto, the stock market, whatever it is, give it to the people for free. You don't need their money. Give it to them for free. Who you want me to look up, family? I got an idea who you want me to look up. It's normally the same person that everybody tell me to look up. And if you're talking about the same person I think you're talking about, I like him. He's dope. He's a cool cat. And he know his stuff. And I know he be breaking bread. Don't get it twisted. I know he make money. I do. But here's what I do know. I know if you go look up what that person's net worth is, it's around $5 million. If I'm being honest, right? Now, we know just like everybody else, net worth ain't a real thing. Derek Grayson, I like Derek Grayson. I actually took, what was Derek Grayson thing? I wanted to see if he knew something that I didn't know. And he's a sharp cat. Don't get it twisted. He's smart. Derek Grayson was doing $1 million a month, if y'all can remember. I'm just telling you. If we put this stuff in perspective, $12 million a year. Last year, I worked 0 hours, and in 1 year, we generated 8 figures. I ain't doing stocks. The person that people telling me to go look at, if this net worth is $5 million, I can go get a term life insurance policy right now for $5 million, and my net worth will instantly be $5 million. Net worth don't mean nothing. How much equity you got in your house, but if your credit score ain't right, you can't tap into it unless you sell it. Think. All this stuff is an illusion, people. My next target, to be honest with you, I'm trying to hit this 9 figures a year. I'm going to say that one more time for the person all the way in the back. I'm trying to hit this target of 9 figures a year. The one person that I like, and I don't know, there's some people that like him, there's some people that don't like him, but I like the guy because he's just a cool cat to me. And I never forget this. And that's a guy by the name of Grant Cardone. Put a 1 in the chat if you know who Grant Cardone is. Whether you like him or you don't like him, put a 1 in the chat if you know who Grant Cardone is. It don't matter if you like him or not. I don't care if you don't like him. Listen, people, you got to get out of the idea of who I like, who I don't like. It's stupid. You have to take what you can take for your last name and apply what you can apply so you and your last name can benefit. I don't give a damn if you don't like people. Who cares? I remember this had to be a few years ago. I was listening to him, and he said something that was a head scratcher to me. I remember this joker saying, I have about $4 billion in real estate. It's on the business side. 50% of that's in debt. So if you did the math that quick, he got about $2 billion that he can touch. With his equity, whatever, he got about $2 billion to play with. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. Then he said he do about $140 million a year on his personal side. I said, ooh. And that had no debt. It didn't make me go and invest in this into his courses or his any of his things, because I was just like, you know, I like what he's doing from afar. It makes sense. You go get you some doors, you got you some rental property, people gonna pay their rent, you gonna make money. As you make money in it, they paying down the what's name, you're raising the rent, which is raising the value of the property. Over time, you'll be able to refinance to get the money out and let them keep paying it back down again, or you can 1031 exchange into a bigger unit. That's how the wealthy people get their money, y'all. Ain't gonna find nobody that's not wealthy that don't have land and commercial real estate. It ain't gonna happen. That's the truth, if I'm being honest, right? So I have this close friend to the family, my dad's best friend. He don't look like me. And I've shared this story before. I can remember, I'm telling you the Grant Cardone thing because I'm trying to get y'all to connect the dots to make this stuff make sense. But my dad's best friend, who don't look like me, I remember me and my wife bought our first 3 acres of land. I never forget it. I went down to South Georgia, kicked with my pops for a minute, and I met my pops when I was 21. but I went and kicked it with my pops for a minute, and he was there, and he said, Z-Man, I heard y'all went and got y'all 3 acres of land, man. Congratulations. I'm so proud of y'all. And I remember saying to him, yeah, it ain't that much land. It ain't like how y'all got, but it's a little something. This man looked at me like I had a third eye. He said, what do you mean it's not a lot of land? Any piece of land that you get is a lot of land. Know what you're talking about. You make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. I ain't know what the hell he was talking about. I just knew that he had so much land that didn't make sense. I knew he was a billionaire, but I couldn't really confirm anything, right? I asked this man flat out, what is his net worth? This man told me, I don't know what my net worth is. And I did the same thing that most ignorant people will do. Like, what you mean you don't know what your net worth is? That don't make sense. Because we the slow ones saying stuff like that. He looked at me crazy like, I can't tell you what my net worth is, but I can tell you the wealth been in my family for over 400 years. Between him, his brother, and his sister, they own 500,000 acres of land. I can tell you that Perry Airport is on a portion of his land. I can tell you they have hangars all over this country. I can tell you they are heavily invested for y'all getting service with these cell phone towers. I also can tell you that this man told me you need to continue buying land every year that you're on this planet and teach your kids and your grandkids the importance of keeping that land in the family so your family won't ever have to pick up anything. Your family won't ever have to do anything other than just manage. And if y'all get some good family members to manage, what that made me realize when I looked at a person like Grant Cardone, and I looked at this close friend to the family, the people that have started to build wealth and people that have had wealth in their family for hundreds of years, they work for their last name, people. They don't work for their first. You're never going to see these cats, none of them, working for nobody else's last name. When I asked this close friend to the family about cryptocurrency, he said, yeah, I can't do that. It don't make no sense to me. And I'm like, man, you can make a bunch of money doing that. It ain't about the money. The money ain't real. He invited me and my wife to this meeting with 25 other landowners. Majority of the people didn't look like me. I sat in this meeting with my wife. I'm the youngest person. Well, my wife was the youngest, but me and my wife, the youngest people at this little meeting with 25 other landowners. At that time, I think I had owned like 119 acres of land or something like that. So I think I'm a big dog. I'm working 60 hours a year. I think I'm the man. And I get in here with these people, most of them that didn't look like me. Most of them people can be my parents or my grandparents. We spent 3 hours in there talking about livestock. 3 hours talking about livestock. These cats in there talking about how they're making $500,000 a day on livestock. I couldn't wrap my brain around what they were saying. I couldn't wrap my brain around $500,000 a day on livestock. What the heck is going on? And that was just one stream. They had this one cat Shout out to, I'm gonna call him Uncle Joe in his late 60s. I check on him probably maybe once or twice a month, depending on what I got going on and what I think he got going on. But I just tap in with him and just check in with him. He was there with his beautiful wife. They've been together for like 40 some years, man, and just a beautiful couple. And he looked like he could be my granddaddy for real. Out of Idaho. Jay owns about 200,000 acres out there, and I was just blown away. Like listening to their stories and hearing all the stuff that they're talking about, how you got to dig back into the dirt, get back to the root, go back to what your ancestors did, family. It don't matter what you look like. All our ancestors did the same thing before money or the barter system came around to this currency thing, cryptocurrency, the fiat that we get, whatever it is, right? You need food, water, shelter, clothes on your back. I'm going to say that one more time. You need food, water, shelter, clothes on your back. Those are the 4 things that your ancestors had to have. I don't care what your color is. They had to have it, y'all. And they did. They went and got it. Imagine in 2025, you got to have those 4 things still. All this stuff goes back to the land. Notice I ain't say you have to have money. You got to have these 4 things. When the cell phones went out and people didn't have internet, I think this was last year when AT&T went down, I think it was, when all the cell phone stuff was down and people were freaking out, they were losing so much money, they were tripping out. I was on my land. Didn't even know the cell phones was out. Didn't know none of it was down. The money didn't stop coming because the internet was down. It didn't matter. Think. A lot of these things that you invest your money in, people, it's just a product. You're only buying a product. You are a consumer. I got my cryptocurrency. I'm doing well. You are a consumer, and you don't even realize it. The bigger point of it is 99% of the time, you are the product. The livestock that you hear me talk about, you are the livestock. If we being honest, but people don't hear this stuff because they have different things that they're good at, which is great, and they block out everything else. Imagine you come into $1 million, which ain't no money, y'all. I understand what people believe, but it ain't no money, y'all. Imagine you come into $1 million and you go put your $1 million in the bank. And you walk through that front door and walk past that sign that says FDIC. And you know it's only insuring up to $250,000 of that $1 million in your bank. And you'll let your $1 million sit there. You know how wild that is? To let your money sit in the bank? $1 million bucks? And they only insuring up to $250,000? Well, I got me a private account and they'll insure up to $2 million. You still doing the same thing. This is not a holding facility, people. It's a lending institution. Can't make it up. You don't believe me? There's a documentary / movie out there called Too Big to Fail. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all saw that movie called Too Big to Fail. Too Big to Fail. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all saw that movie called Too Big to Fail. I just want to see something. If you haven't watched it, you can go watch the movie called Too Big to Fail. Just go check it out. I was at Bank of America when that movie was actually happening in real life. I remember it vividly of all the things that was transpiring because Bank of America really needed the money at the time. But if all the other banks would have failed, Bank of America would have been right behind them. Think about what I just said. I remember when they decided to do all that TARP money for the banks, they didn't have no rules around the money. The one rule that they did come up with, which was a major rule, but I thought it was funny when I very first heard it. They said the only issue that we're going to have is we're going to give the bank all this money without no rules too big to fail. We're going to give all the banks this money without no rules around it. What if they don't want to lend the money out? They gotta lend the money out, right? I want y'all to just watch I'm telling you the movie, that part of it, because I want you to, when you see it, I want this to connect. The only rule that they put around that money is they had to lend the money out, even though it went a rule. Because they're not a holding facility, they're a lending institution, people. So when you put your money in the bank, the reason why you can't go get all your money out is because they already lent it out. And if it's too big of a number, you got to wait 14 days from you ordering the money. They got to have time for the other depositors to put their money in there so they can lend the money to you. The lending institution, y'all. Imagine Kanye West saying, Chase Bank froze $140 million of my money. And I wasn't the most financial savvy person in the world, so I didn't know what was going on. Kanye West got debanked. They're a lending institution, boys and girls. So if the bank is a lending institution, what you think cryptocurrency is? You think it's different? The stock go up as people buy it, right? If I just put it in perspective, I'm dumb. The stock go up as people buy it. As the stock go up as people buying it, when it hits certain people targets, they pull their money out. So for the people that bought at the top, they're trapped until more people buy into it for it to keep going up. As it go up some more, people pull out as they hit their target, and those people are stuck. And they keep, think about what I just said. All of it's a lending institution, people, because no money is real. Not your cryptocurrency, not your money you got in the bank, not bricks, not nothing. Money is not real. I hope y'all caught it. So look, y'all, I've been on here now for about 2 hours and 40 minutes. I got to get up off here. The replays this live is going to be at Zabo103 on Instagram, Zabo103 on YouTube, Xavier Gibson on Facebook. What other platform we on? I think that's it from replay. So if y'all missed the whole live, y'all more than welcome. Go tap in over there. The only thing that I will leave y'all with is the same thing that I leave y'all with every time I get off a live. Motivation and manipulation is on the same coin, y'all. What's up, Nate? Nate back in here. Be easy, family. Motivation and manipulation is on the same coin, y'all. If somebody needs you to do something and all they got to do is motivate you, they absolutely gonna motivate you, y'all. Just is what it is. Don't be silly. If they need you to do something and they can't motivate you, it's a green light to manipulate you. Please stay awake. Please. It's worth it. Stop listening to people on social media, y'all. That includes me. Anything you hear me talk about, go research it. Anything you hear somebody else talking about, go research this stuff for yourself. There's nobody on this planet that's generous. They're not going to be that generous to you. It's all about them and their last name. And if it's not about them and their last name, you in trouble. You in a scary place. Nobody's that nice to you. Don't nobody like you that much. I'm telling you, they don't. Go do your research. I don't care who it is. Once you research stuff, if you find out the stuff is legit, then you apply the stuff in your life where you can. But if you find out this stuff ain't legit, keep it pushing. Don't be bent out of shape. They might not be trying to hustle you. They might just be outdated with what they talking about. But go do your research, people. It is important. Again, I hope y'all have enjoyed this live. I appreciate y'all always tapping in with your boy for the last 128 weeks straight. In a couple of weeks, I will be launching my own platform to do my live streams on. I'm super excited about it because I didn't think that it would be a real thing to have my own live stream where you can go to my website and I can stream live on my platform in real time without it being something like a YouTube or a Rumble or a Twitch. I wouldn't have been able to imagine that, y'all. So I'm excited about it, y'all. So as soon as that platform is completed, I will give out the actual website so y'all can go over there and subscribe to it and continue to tap in with me as much as you want to. And we're gonna keep it pushing, y'all. 2025, like I told y'all last year, it's 2025 it's gonna continue to get interesting, y'all. Appreciate you. It's gonna continue to get interesting because there are so many different distractions that are transpiring that it ain't even funny. And I think the reason why all the distractions are happening is because I think, quiet as it kept, there are a lot of people that are getting closer to breaking that seal to get to where they at. So there's a lot of goalposts that's being moved so that people can't get there. Because if you don't understand right now, we're seeing the biggest transfer of wealth that you probably gonna ever see in your lifetime. And being that we're seeing the biggest transfer of wealth that you ever gonna see in your lifetime, there's a lot of open opportunities out here for you to capitalize in what you already doing. You just got to think, people, and do your research and take action. I promise you, it's the secret to everything you try to do. So in the meantime, look, boys and girls, y'all be good or have fun being bad, and I'll see y'all on the other side of the sun. Peace.